Hi, everyone. This is Nicholas Ward. I'm an Oakland educator. I'm also the athletic director and an advocate for equity. And this is my presentation on educational technology. Here's a short list of contents of what we'll be talking about. What is EdTech, my why in EdTech, and EdTech effects, and then obviously my works cited. So, what is EdTech? Experts like Zhu in 2017 described EdTech as using technological processes and resources to improve education for all stakeholders. To me, educational technology is about using digital tools with purpose to open doors for families, educators, and our students who've oftentimes been left out to make learning more engaging and give every student a fair shot, no matter where they come from. It's not about having the latest digital tools, but it's more about equity, access, and impact. And so when people mention ed tech, I feel like most people just mention like Chromebooks or laptops. I wanted to put this piece here to just show like all of the different tools that can be encompassed within ed tech and how they can show up in your class in various ways. We have smartphones, we have laptops and tablets, we have digital whiteboards, we have things like Jamboard, ClassFlow, we have different types of displays, we have mics, we have project-based learning tools like Flipgrid, we have screen recorders, screen readers, voice-to-text tools, and audiobooks. These are all different type of ways that we can show up for our students in providing every single student with the desired outcome that we want to achieve. And so when we get to the ed tech effects, it kind of fell into four buckets for me. There was equity and access, there was personalized learning, there was engagement, choice, and student voice, and then the family and community engagement piece. And so when we look at ed tech as a tool for equity, I think it helps bridge some of those structural inequalities in education by ensuring that all students, regardless of their zip code, have access to devices, internet, and maybe most importantly, digital literacy. And so I took a deep dive into East Oakland, and I was shocked to see that 12% of low income students had reliable internet and a device before COVID 19. And so, thanks to Oakland Undivided, over 36,000 laptops were handed out, 11,500 hotspots were given out. There were over 50,000 tech support interactions were provided to students. And so that just goes to show that equity isn't just about the hardware, but it's using the ed tech to build culturally responsive classrooms. And so that ed tech becomes a bridge, not just to the internet, but it becomes access to dignity, to voice, to real access to educational opportunities. And I think that's what ed tech can truly be about. That next piece is the personalized learning. I think ed tech allows for individualized pacing in multiple ways to demonstrate learning. We have tools like IXL, we have Flip, we have Edpuzzle, and these all can help to adapt to different learning styles and support students with IEPs, our English language learners, and even our gifted students. And that teachers can gain that real time insight into student progress and needs. One of my favorite ones is Kahoot. I also use GimKit. Engagement and student voice. I think EdTech gives students the tools to become active participants in their own learning. We have platforms like Padlet and Jamboard and Canva, and these all help to encourage creativity, promote collaboration, and push communication throughout class. And I think it's especially helpful, and I have quite a few of them for students that typically don't raise their hand, right? They get a space to shine in this digital landscape. And then lastly is the family and engagement piece. I think EdTech creates new ways for families to stay informed and get involved in student learning. We have platforms like Class Dojo, Seesaw. My favorite one that I use is Parent Square, which allow for real-time updates and two-way communication. And all these tools can be translated into multiple languages that can support our inclusive outreach in our diverse communities. And so I dug even further into our internet and income gaps and where we still have some problems. And zip code 94618 is typically our highest median household income is at 220,000. They're running off an average of 97 megabytes per second. Right when we get to my zip code where I teach in 94621, we have one of the lowest median household incomes at 54,000, and we're running off 15 megabytes per second. So even with the hardware out, we still see that there's still some problems with access in terms of download speed and how that plays out across Oakland. And so when we get to my why, I was forced to sort of think about Senec's idea that great leaders start with a why. And so my why is centered on equity. I think my role as an ed tech professional is to bridge these gaps or these inconsistencies that I see, not just by handing out the tech, but by building real connections with families, the teachers, and students so that learning is truly accessible and empowering. I think this is going to be the purpose that drives everything that I do, and it's going to guide a lot of my work in this educational technology program. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's my works cited. I hope you have a good evening.